So I says, yo, haha, it's all in the words.
The ice storm. There is a terrible ice storm going on. Everyone is left to survive on their own. I'm walking the streets and I'm picking up things that have important value. I'm walking around searching through what I can. I didn't come across any trouble. That was a blessing amongst other blessings. I found some items sitting in front of an open cement structure. When I fooled around with these things, commotion rang out. I realized a few folks were using the stuff. They are in the cement structure for shelter against the cold weather. Looking around, I saw that this was a two-car garage. It had no windows and nothing to really block the weather from circulating around in the inside. There is a older fella here. He seems to have Alzheimer's or dementia. It dawns on me that he was already homeless from a hard life. There is another fella slightly younger than that older guy. He's all there mentally, but he has he has a physical difficulty, kind of like a spinal deficiency, but I'm not too sure. The last of the three people in this place is a female. She is older than me, but younger than them. She had a shady personality. It was difficult to shake, and I kept my eyes on her. We all talked and got comfortable, but sticking out this weather together. We all talked and got comfortable, and we were about to stick out this weather together. Still early in the day, I noticed the mess on the highway. People trying to drive on ice and making it harder for others on that stretch of the highway. There's a highway entrance ramp diagonal from the garage we are in. Of course, there's no love coming from the folks that were out for themselves. We all took turns leaving to find things of use. Two of us left together at a time. Two of us stayed behind to be security over what we did accumulate. Time ticked slowly, and we all swapped stories. The older fella talked like an old pimp. The guy younger than him had been on drugs until 4 months before the storm. The female could have lost her will to live, according to her bio. I was a guy that wanted to be independent. I didn't call for help from family and the few friends I had. Sometime later, one last character followed one pair back. He had resources to share. His story was pretty cool. He's a guy that worked hard. His family was stripped from him by a cheating wife. Like I said, time moved slowly. We talked about the worst scenarios and began to think survival. I walked outside and noticed some things that looked useful. It wasn't too far away. I told everyone where I was going I found a laptop and groceries. I heard stress in their voices, and I rushed back to the garage with the loot. When I returned, the code must have affected the older guy's way of thinking. I reassured him a little bit with the items I found. He was a handful still, and I stepped out for a breather. The female pointed out a bag on top of a barrel. There were more resources left by a trucker about to travel a highway. We stopped him from leaving to ask if there was room for us all. It made sense to travel together. As we loaded up, two people walked up out of nowhere. They had on state uniforms and moved around us as if we didn't exist. We got their attention and found out that they were taking account of people and their belongings. I wouldn't allow them to leave without their assistance. They were going to hop on the highway and travel to Atlanta. They said there was refuge there. We got heated because they was going to leave and just leave us stuck in the cold. They made some calls and got us hooked up with room and board. After loading their car and his diesel, we got on the road. The two vehicles kept in contact by CB, and walkie-talkies. We were told after a long ride, we made it to Atlanta. We were told there was a few places for refugees. We were at this apartment complex full of misplaced people. Through the excitement, a message came for me. I had a surprise waiting for me. When I got out the truck, my family jumped on me. They wanted to show me around, but I was instructed to contact a supervisor of these apartments. She and the state officers got all of us from that garage, checked in, and assigned to rooms. I shared a 3-bedroom place with the woman and the new guy from the garage. The apartment was shabby and rough, but warm. There was a twist to all of this. I got concerned with the room assignments. I began to look for wheelchair accessibility. I looked for bed rails. Leaning against the wall, my vision got blurred. I could hear people talking. I gradually realized that this was a dream, and I was beginning to wake up. The end. This story is called The Ice Storm.